A man came and touched the feet of the Master and said, "Bless me, for I am going to embark on a journey to conquer the highest mountain in the world, the Mount Everest." Lao Tzu smiled and said, "You don't need my blessings for such a thing. Don't come to me for such petty things. Come to me if you are willing to dive within. Come to me if you are willing to find your true self. Come to me if you are willing to conquer yourself." And then the Master left. Always remember, it is better to conquer yourself than to win 1,000 battles, because then the victory is yours. It cannot be taken from you. It always remains yours. The conquering of self is truly greater than to conquer many worlds. People want to conquer mountains, regions, and states, and empires, and so on and on. The list is unending. Millions have conquered the highest mountains and the rarest of rare things that this world has to offer. But very few have truly been able to conquer themselves. And that is how we have many champions, but very few real yogis. We have many record breakers, but very few enlightened beings. We have many achievers, but very few saints. Because, as Lao Tzu, the Master, says to the young man, "Those all are petty things. Don't come to me to ask for petty things. Anyhow, someday, sometime, some life, you are going to achieve all your material desires. There is nothing special about it. Come to me if you really want to be special. Come to me if you really want to know what truly is special." Edmund Hillary, the first man who conquered the Mount Everest, says, "No one remembers who climbed the Mount Everest the second time." And this is what Lao Tzu, the Divine Master, is telling the young man. Don't come to me for petty things. Come to me for finding the special things, the special you that lies within you. You may know everything about this universe, and if you are still unaware of who you are, then what good it does to your existence. Even if you have conquered the highest mountains and the farthest stars and planets, and you haven't yet been able to conquer yourself, your mind, your senses, your desires and wants, then what good it does to your life. No matter how much knowledge you have gathered, but if you are unable to find who you are, then you remain as good as an ignorant fool. Remember, knowledge is noisy and the truth is found in silence. In silence you are able to meditate, and it is in silence that you are able to find the many truths of this human life. Knowledge is noisy. Knowledge is gathered from the outside, but wisdom is nurtured from the inside. And that is what the Divine Master Lao Tzu is telling the young man. You can always get whatever you wish to. You can always become whatever you wish to. You can always conquer whatever you wish to, because what you seek is also seeking you. But those all are trivial material things. If not now, tomorrow. If not tomorrow, the day after, or the next life, or the life after the next. But someday you are going to get your material wish fulfilled. It always happens. It always has been happening. So don't come to me for such trivial things. Come to me if you seek that for which even millions of lives may fall short. Come to me if you wish to seek that which is going to remain with you forever. Come to me if you wish to seek that which is going to help you realize your own self, your eternal beauty, your eternal consciousness. Come to me if you are willing to jump beyond and conquer yourself. Don't come to me for conquering some rocky mountains. There are millions who have conquered many mountains, and there will be millions who would be doing the same. Come to me if you wish to find your true self, your true identity. Come to me if you are willing to explore the many treasures that lie within you. How deep are these words of the Divine Master, Lao Tzu. But the young man missed to understand the essence of the Master's words. He left, and then he never was able to come back. In the mad quest of conquering the highest mountain, his journey had no destination, because ambition has no destination. And when there is no destination, there is no chance of stopping, pausing, and recharging. The mind is mechanical. Once you inject your mind with the dose of ambition, the mind is never going to stop. It will drive you from one achievement to the other. Your body will exhaust, will become tired, but the mind would never let you sleep with peace. It will never let you rest with peace. An ambitious person is ruled by his or her mind. And one who is ruled by the mind is always going to suffer, because the mind is a beautiful servant but a dangerous master. It is not you who suffers, it is always your mind that suffers. And because you take the mind as you suffer. The mind wanders, the mind is never still. You are not the mind, says Bhagavan Raman Maharshi. Guru Nanak says, conquer your mind and conquer the world. But one who is ignorant cannot understand this truth. Under the darkness of ignorance, he becomes more and more ambitious and continues to attract more and more miseries in his or her life. One who is ambitious can never truly meditate. Remember this, because to meditate you have to be here in this now moment. in this very present moment. But an ambitious person is always thinking of the future. Always. After one achievement, what next? Then the next, and then the next. You see, the mind is always in the future. You can never be in the present moment if you are an ambitious person. And then you all tell me, how can such a person meditate? To meditate, you have to feel the essence of love, to let go, to unburden yourself from all the thoughts and desires. When ambition enters, creativity disappears. Because an ambitious man cannot be creative. Because an ambitious man cannot love any activity for its own sake. While he is painting, he is looking ahead. He is thinking, when am I going to get a Nobel Prize? When he is writing a novel, he is looking ahead. He is always in the future, and a creative person is always in the present. Ambitious nature can make you a legend. The world may recognize you as a legend, but in reality, you remain miserable, you remain disturbed, you remain unsatisfied, because the dose of ambition is so strong that until the very last moment of your life, you continue to run. You continue to run. The mad race never ends. It has no finishing line. The only finishing line it has is in the graveyard when the body is dead. And still, the journey of ambition continues. The birth and rebirth cycle continues. You go through millions of births and rebirths until you become mindful. Life goes on repeating like a wheel, and this wheel is what we call sansar, an unending cycle of ignorance, where you continue to repeat the same mistakes again and again and again until one fine day, with the divine intervention, you realize what you have been doing, and then there is a possibility of changing the repeating pattern of your life. That is when you are able to come out of the unending cycle of this sansar, that is the material world, only when you are graced by the divine intervention. And that is how significant is the presence of Jesus, of Buddha, of Krishna, of Rama, of the Prophet in your life. That is how significant is the existence of divine enlightened beings in our life. Because unless you take a step towards the divine, sufferings would never end. The ignorance would never end, and the endless cycle of birth and rebirths would never end. The more you dive within yourself, the more you curb your ambition and turn inwards. You will realize the immense significance of the grace of the benevolent, compassionate Divine Master, the Lord whose name, whose blessings, and whose indefinite love help us to swim through the many seen and unseen difficulties of this wonderful journey called life. Always remember, happiness is your nature. It is not wrong to seek happiness. What is wrong is to seek it on the outside when it is inside. Life gives you break so that you can pause and look within, so that you can introspect, meditate, and find the real purpose of your life, the real meaning of your life. Life always gives you an opportunity to find your true self. But because your mind is always focused on the outside and always seeking more and more, you never really are able to pause and meditate. The whole life is spent in satisfying the ambitious mind, and yet, in the end, all that you get is disappointment and dissatisfaction. Because that is what the nature of the mind is. The mind is never satisfied and never settled. The highly ambitious person, in spite of all his successes, always remains dissatisfied in the same way as a greedy baby is never satisfied. What makes a person ambitious? Asked a young man, and the master said, not being able to accept what you are. Ambition is out of fear. All ambition is out of fear. All ambition is out of inferiority complex. Because you are afraid to be yourself. You can never be happy unless you curb your ambition. Value what you have got. Look back and see from where you have arrived. Be grateful for whatever you have earned and learned. That is the way, the sure way to be happy and to let others be happy. When ambition ends, happiness begins. You need more and more power only to do something harmful. Otherwise, love is enough. Compassion is enough. Hitler was ambitious. Romans were ambitious. Every dictator is found to be ambitious, and every dictator has met with a miserable end. Ambitiousness leads to failure. The world would have been different if Hitler would have been able to curb his ambitious nature. You should know where to stop, when to stop. Ambitiousness drives you to achieve more and more and more. But in this race of achieving more, the cost you pay is losing on happiness, peace, and joy in your life. Decide for yourself, you want to live an ambitious life or a happy life. Just a little relaxation, just a little looking inwards, and the doors of immense potentialities open up. You are no more a beggar. Without conquering the world, you have conquered the whole universe. Just conquer yourself. Turn inwards and meditate.